You guys, it is Thursday night, and you guys are live here on the Brush by Brandy Facebook page and my YouTube channel. And we're going to do something a little bit fun tonight. I have my husband here, Sean, behind the camera. He's going to help answer any questions as we go. So pop on and ask anything that you're curious about. But what we're going to do tonight is we're going to compare a whole bunch of ways of stripping furniture. We're having the battle of the strippers. Not that kind. Not that kind. But still just as fun. And hopefully you learn more than you would learn with that kind. I don't know. I guess it's eye-opening. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess either one is eye-opening.
There's no, this is not my my OnlyFans page. Yeah.
AnyFans.
Yeah, any OnlyFans.
We're going.
I don't know. Clearly I don't have one of those.
Please, put my kids through college.
Yeah, I mean, I will dance for you. Okay, so what I have is I have a kidney-shaped desk here that I need to strip the top of. So I got this desk. It's a really cute shape, beautiful piece of furniture, but it's painted in old latex paint. I am going to show you different ways of removing the paint, and we're going to kind of compare and contrast, and I'll tell you about each of the options. So let's get started. I do have a back to school night tonight because it's that time of year, so we're gonna
jam on it.
We're gonna be firm on time tonight, so I'm gonna get started right away and talk while I go. So the first section, I've taped off different sections here on top of the desk. Can you see, or are these jars in the way? Should I move the jars? I'll move each one as we get to that section.
Yeah, one video is gonna have you on it. The other one's you're narrating.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys are missing out because this is the battle of the strippers, and I'm not even on the camera.
Yep.
So, okay. So this first section here, I have nothing applied to. This is just the paint as it came on the desk when I purchased it. And so this section, I wanted to show you some non-chemical ways to remove paint. And so the options I have are my heat gun here. And I'm going to put the heat gun on it, and I'm going to use a scraper blade. So this is one option to remove paint. Some tips and tricks I'll give you with each one. So on this, you want to be careful because with some different types of coatings, oil-based coatings, this actually can be flammable. You can start a fire with this. So you want to do this cautiously.
This is going to end well.
If you smell burning paint or wood, then you probably want to get off that spot and move it along. I'm going to put my heat gun on this. I have a metal scraper here. And when I scrape, I'm going to want to scrape with the grain of the wood, trying not to gouge it. I'm going to kind of yell at you guys while I have the heat gun on.
I'm used to it.
So I'm going to have Sean get in here because you can see the paint starts to bubble. I don't want to stay in any one place for too long because that's when I get to that flammability. But you can see just softening that paint. I have more than one layer here, you guys. I didn't know. I thought this was a wood underneath. You know what? I bet you it's the old clear coat that I've got that I'm scraping off.
Would you test for lead before you did this?
Yes, you do want to test for lead-based paint. Although the dangers with lead come with aspirating, so that means you don't want to sand it. You can strip lead paint. You want to dispose of it properly, but you're not aspirating it. So if you're wearing proper PPE, which is personal protection equipment, gloves, safety equipment, and you dispose of it properly, you can strip it. You just don't ever want to aspirate lead paint. And you don't want to eat lead.
What?
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
Dang it.
That information came too late for some of you guys. So this is a great non-chemical option when you've got paint. I'm going to leave this in the same section for too long, you guys. And I'm going to show you. You can already see here, you get some singeing.
It's a little buble.
Get some charring. Okay, that's how you know you kind of stayed in the same place for too long. I didn't know which way the wood grain ran, so I started scraping that way. Now I can see my wood grain, and I know that I want to go with the wood grain on this. So I'm going to change the direction of my scraping so that I don't damage that wood grain. Overall, this is a good option. Just be careful of the dangers of it. This can be dangerous. Any of these can be dangerous. Okay, but this gets through that paint pretty quickly. A lot of us have a heat gun around the house. And it's a non-chemical option if you're looking to avoid chemicals. Usually when I'm deciding how I want to strip a piece of furniture, I do a test spot first. If it's got paint on it, I 99% of the time I'm not going to sand it because paint will gum up your sandpaper pretty quickly. So if it's painted, I will usually use a chemical stripper.
So just to interrupt you for a second, we have a professional opinion.
Uh,
Sherry says brain damage from lead isn't fun.
oh, okay.
It's not fun to treat.
Yeah, probably that one too.
Note to self.
And then I don't know the technicalities of so I guess I should disclose this. I am not going to give you expert advice on dealing with lead. That is something you can look up. They do have guidelines online. You can look up for safe ways to get rid of it, dispose it. You can also just paint over it. So if there are safety guidelines, make sure you look those up and make sure you test for lead paint before you go into this. So please, please, please do not consider the things I'm saying as the only things you need to be aware of.
Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Yes, thank you, Sherry. Sherry works in a medical office, so you guys take Sherry's advice before you take mine. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, my next option I'm going to use is a Carbide scraper, and this is a tool that I just got this one on Amazon. The things that I would look for if you look for a Carbide scraper is get the one with the knob on the end. It allows you to put some pressure on it. This is a really nice tool to have. I use this a lot. And then get some replacement blades. This has a blade that you just screw on from the back. So I can replace this. And if you're going to be stripping with this, you do want to have a clean blade on here. Mine's been used a couple times, but it's pretty new. And it's just got a flat blade on it. This is going to seem like it's damaging, but it actually doesn't damage. It blows my mind every time that I don't damage the wood. So all you would do with this is you would take this, and you could use this in combination with the heat gun too if you wanted to use this scraper instead of this one. But you're going to give it a firm plant, press on that knob. Hang on, you gotta get my stance, and then you're going to scrape. Okay, I got only through a little bit there, so let's go at it again. It's going to take me a few passes.
That's pretty thick.
Yeah, it is pretty thick. So this is not as effective in this particular case. If you have thinner layers, this is going to be way more effective. The other thing I like this for is I can offset the blade. So can you guys see here how I've kind of got the blade sticking out? I can offset the blade, and this allows me to get into those really 90-degree corners. When I need to scrape in a 90-degree corner, I can clean those corners out. That's what I use this for more. I would probably not choose this for this purpose. So I'm starting to get, I've got all this coming off, and I'm starting to get through the paint. Okay, you hear that grinding sound? Oh, I just made a mistake. I'm going against the grain. I did the same thing I did up here. Okay, so I'm going to scrape with the grain. Once I get through that paint, I can start getting through that clear coat that's underneath. You hear a scraping, it's going to be like nails on a chalkboard, and my wood is not gouged, and I'm not pulling chips of wood up with it like you would think. So now I get down to the wood, and then once I've got a little edge, it kind of gets easier. Not my first choice, guys. The heat gun worked much better than this did. So I do love this thing for 90-degree corners. Stripping a whole top like this, I'm gonna hard pass on that one. All right, let's talk chemical strippers. So, like I said, if I'm doing a painted surface, I'm going to use a chemical stripper. I don't use sandpaper because paint gums up sandpaper really quickly. If I just have clear coat on a top, I'll usually do a test spot in a corner with my power sander, and I'll see how quickly that clear coat comes off. There are all different kinds of clear coats. Some clear coats come off super fast with the sanding, those dry, flaky, old clear coats, and I'm like, easy breezy, I'm going to sand this. So I do that, find that out with the test spot. If it's gummy and I'm sitting in that test spot for a long time and I'm like, okay, this is not going to sand very easily, then I will go to my chemical strippers. Chemical stripper is not in place of sanding, it's in addition to sanding. So if you can sand and it's going to be easy, sanding is great. Put your mask on. Make sure you have a vacuum in a nice open space and get rid of that clear coat with sanding. But I have a painted surface. I'm definitely going to use chemical stripper. So I have some here, and I put these on at 5 o'clock tonight. So it's 6:10 here in California. So it's been about an hour. So this is going to be your results after about an hour. The first one I'm going to show you is citrus strip. Some of these recommend that you may have to leave them on for up to 24 hours, okay? And you may need to do more than one application. So The case here is, this is citrus strip. Let's look at the consistency of this one. If I put a little bit on, it is a gel. Okay, so I'm just going to pour a little bit out so you can see the consistency. It's an orange gel. It smells nice. It has a citrus smell. It doesn't burn your skin if you touch it. This is an eco-friendly option. No harsh fumes. You can use it for indoors. It's also soap and water cleanup, which is a nice feature. You can wash it out of brushes and things. And then, I mean, I've even had pieces where I need to strip like fine details, and I can wash them with soap and water to get the stripper out of the details afterwards. So that's my gel. I've already got it on the surface. It brushes on. To get more power out of this, you can cover it in a plastic wrap or like a saran wrap or even just old plastic bags. And that will keep the heat in and allow this to work a little bit faster. Citrus strip is usually not my favorite option. I have this because I actually really like it sometimes for stripping coatings off old hardware. I actually probably use this more like a cleaner than I use it as a stripper. Stripping coatings off old hardware, I use this a lot. I actually use this for cleaning my stencils a lot when I've got like spray adhesive on there, because it's something I can rinse off with soap and water. And it just eats through that spray adhesive, and I take it off, and it doesn't damage my stencils. Make sure you have a type of stencil that it's not going to damage.
So you wouldn't use that on fine china?
Oh yeah, I mean I might, since you got me china for our anniversary. It's our 20th wedding anniversary was yesterday, and the traditional gift is china. I think Sean misunderstood and got me stuff made in China though. Okay, so this has been sitting on for about an hour. I showed you how I just brushed it on. When you brush it on chemical strippers, you want to use a natural bristle brush. This is just a cheap throwaway chip brush. Some of these can eat through synthetic bristles because they're plastic, and you don't want to use like a foam brush. Strippers will eat through those. Really quick before we scrape that off, I have one that I did not put on, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on really quick. The one I'm going to put on this end is Jasco, and the reason I didn't put this on is because this is a harsh chemical stripper. It's not eco-friendly, but it only needs 15 minutes to work, whereas the eco-friendly options need a longer time.
It's more of like a dirty stripper?
Yeah, this one's the dirty stripper. This is the one with the blacked out windows that's available at 11 o'clock in the morning.
This is your 7 a.m.
Yeah, this is the early morning one after hours. So I'm going to pour this out onto my surface. This one smells bad. Yeah, I like this stuff because it burns a little bit. If it doesn't burn the nostrils, it's not working, right? That's what Sean tells me.
I don't think I've ever said that, but okay.
Oh, it's a different Sean, not you, it's someone else. All right, so I brushed on an ample coat of this, and I'm just going to leave this sitting, and this one only needs about 15 minutes. That's why I didn't put it on that hour before, because it doesn't require as much time. So
and I have fans going, and it's 120 degrees in here.
It's super hot. It is like 100 plus in California right now. We're having fire weather, which kind of scares me. All right, so that's Jasco. We just brushed on. I'll put this down on the floor. Let's come over here and scrape off our citrus strip. So I'm going to take a metal scraper blade, and now that I know the grain of my wood is running this direction, I'm going to scrape towards the front. I would normally have like a box or a paper bag that I pulled off the front, and I scoop it right into there. So let me show you an example of that. So I usually will take either a flat box like from Costco. Got one down here.
Oh, I'll get it so you're not
sticking my hair in chemical stripper before back to school night.
That'll be sweet.
I'm that mom. This is just a flat box that I would use as a tray. I pick these up at Costco anytime we go. They're free. And I use them for spray painting. This has spray adhesive all over it. I'll scoop my stripper goo. That sounds really bad, stripper goo. Scoop my stripper goo into the box. The other option is I will line a dustpan with a paper bag. You don't want to use plastic because some chemical strippers can melt through plastic. Same thing as I told you with the brushes. So I'll line it with a paper bag, and then I can scoop my stripper goo onto here, and I just throw the paper bag away. Okay, so since I can't get to that side without blocking the camera, I'm just going to show you. So,
What?
citrus strip after about an hour. All right, it gets some resistance. It's kind of turned to like a powder. And here's what I noticed right away. I'm not getting through the clear coat that's underneath. I'm only getting that paint. So I would need to do at least one other application of this. Some spots, like that scraped pretty easy, but some spots like here, you can tell that I didn't get maybe as thick of a coat, and it's a little more stubborn. So I just have to put some back into it. Okay, but overall, it does work. But keeping in mind what I just scraped up my tape.
Come on.
I tried to stay in the lines, but I'm not good at that part. So it can take multiple applications. It can take more than 24 hours. Pretty effective. That was pretty easy. I could get through a painted top like this. I just hate having to do more than one application if I can avoid it. So for paint, I think citrus strip is okay. For clear coats, sometimes for clear coats, it doesn't even touch them. So, I mean, there's really no way to know until you put it on and you leave it for 24 hours and you put the saran wrap over it and you did all the things and you still come back and it's not really effective. So just be aware, it's eco-friendly, smells good, cleans some stuff. It's not the most effective. It's not my favorite stripper, but I think it does have a place. It's an easy hardware store option, super easy to find. All right, my next option is Greenies Strip and Clean. And this is also an eco-friendly version. I have 3 eco-friendly versions I'm going to show you. And a lot of people like the eco-friendly version. I usually skip straight to the harsh chemical stuff. But like I just use this to clean my workbench off where I don't want to put harsh chemicals on my workbench. I just want a nice option that's going to remove the paint that I've gotten on there over time. So I do use this sometimes to clean my workbench off. You could also use it for the things I said here, which was, you know, like the cleaning my stencils, cleaning hardware. It works great for it. You got old painted hardware, this will take that paint off, great for paint. Right, so same thing, I applied this at the same time that I applied the citrus strip about an hour ago, hour and 15 minutes ago. All right, that's a little
Agreed.
more.
Time is money.
That's a little more creamy. And I think I got more of the clear coat on this one. I didn't have any stubborn spots. Like it got through all of it. So I don't have to go back and reapply on those. Like I had this spot right here that even though I can see the orange residue on there, it didn't cut through that. Maybe it was a little bit thinner, thicker in some spots. You know, when you brush something on, it's not always exactly even. So
exactly.
This is nice and creamy, scrapes off. Greenies is available through Wiseall, so I do have an affiliate link for this one. This is just a hardware store option, so I don't have an affiliate link for this, but I will put up a link to my Amazon shop. You can find that in there. And what an affiliate link is that just supports me. I earn a small percentage of the sales. The prices are the same for you guys. So if you've got artists that you enjoy watching and they have affiliate links, support your artists with those, you guys. Okay, so that's my pile there. I'm going to move these so you guys can actually see. Pretty similar overall, except for some of these stubborn spots that I would have to reapply on. I'm going to scrape this gunk off. I do clean my my putty knife in between each time I strip so that it's not sitting with old crusty stripper on there. Those are the worst kind, the old crusty ones.
I can't.
I'm having fun with this topic. It's all I've got, guys. All right, my next eco-friendly option is Blue Bear. Blue Bear with Savinol paint stripper. I like this stuff. Another great eco-friendly option. My only complaint about this one is it is hard to find. I usually have to order this online. There's like next to nowhere that carries it. This is what I used before I found the Greenies as an eco-friendly option.
Nope.
But True Value carries it, but I have to order it and have it shipped to the store. They don't even keep it in the store. So
Tina said she just picked up 3 dressers, have multiple layers of paint.
Oh,
could have a stripping party.
I'm your girl right now. Yeah, have your friends over. You guys strip together. Yeah. Sean will be right over. All right. So this is Blue Bear. This is a soy-based stripper. Let's see. I think most of these have the same requirement that it can take up to 24 hours on those eco-friendly options. Soap and water cleanup on all of these. I do like that part. There are times when you want a soap and water cleanup. All right, so let's see. I didn't put it on this spot right here because that's where I had my jar sitting. So ignore this spot. Let me show you the consistency of it though, since we have that spot open.
Wow.
So
Sherry's into having nightmares. She keeps thinking of Will Ferrell and his Speedo.
oh yeah, it's too much gyrating.
Hello.
Yeah.
Frank the Tank.
I mean, you have your fantasies. I have mine, Sherry. Okay, so I just poured it on. It's kind of a clear gel. I brush it out. These are all a gel formula, so they're all Citrus Strip, the Greenies, and this Blue Bear, all roughly the same consistency. They brush on like a gel, and again, this has been on here for a little over an hour. I just put them on at the same time. So I didn't do this front square here, so we'll ignore that, but I'm going to start back here. Okay, this feels really similar to the Greenies. And my results, I can see my clear coat because I can see the sheen that's left on here. It looks kind of like an alligator pattern. It's basically the pattern of this crackling that was in the paint. The paint kind of captures the stripper and leaves it held in place. So as it starts bubbling up, it's going to be more effective in some places where that crackling happened. So I can see my clear coat left on the surface. If I scrape multiple times, I get some of that off.
Ta-da!
All right. Really similar. I didn't have any spots, and I know when you brush stuff on, you never get it exactly even. So it is really common that you're going to have, like, if you don't get it even with the Citrus Strip, it matters more than with these two. I would say these two are probably like dead even in my mind as far as effectiveness, but the Greenies is easier to find, so I have to be partial to that one. All right, we're going to come over here to my harsh chemical stripper. Not eco-friendly, smells nasty, can burn a little bit, although, probably, gosh, it's been probably, yeah, I mean, you can see how quickly this has already bubbled up. This is usually my first choice, unless for some reason I want an eco-friendly option for that easy cleanup. The harsh chemical stuff does not clean up as well. It's easily found in a hardware store. You want to wear gloves with it. But probably 4 or 5 years ago now, the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, so it's a national agency. This applies to all states. I'm in California, so there are some things I can't get here chemical-wise. They banned methylene chloride. Methylene chloride is what made strippers work really well. They were super good, but people were staying in enclosed spaces, and some people lost their life for using methylene chloride strippers in enclosed spaces.
Sorry, question. Greenies. Can you grab that container
Yes.
real quick, please?
Greenies Strip and Clean. So that's what that looks like. This is a half-gallon container. And this is the link that I have in the profile, or in this post. You can get this from Wiesel Paint. They are a distributor for Greenies, and they carry. Greenies also has a furniture cleaner. This is their stripper, so they have a cleaner. You want to grab it on that cart right there? It's right there with the label. Yep. So
I like my strippers environmentally friendly.
Greenies also has a cleaner, and this is their stripper. Okay, so this is the non-methylene chloride formula, which is all you can find anywhere anymore. I had some of the old stuff for a while. I had bought it in bulk right when it was going out, but now I'm sad because you can't find it.
Some back alley trading going on.
Yeah, you can get like licensing from the EPA to use it. Like if you're a professional, you do dipping for furniture and stuff like that you can have chemicals. Obviously, we're not to that level. But this has been on here for about 15 minutes. All right, I would probably say I'm going to need to do another application. I'm getting about the same results as I did with the eco-friendly options, but I did it in much less time on this one. These sat for an hour. This one sat for about 15 minutes. It smells more offensive.
Yeah, you do.
I just accidentally touched the container with my leg.
Oh.
I'm going to wipe it off. So it doesn't, they don't even try to make it smell good. It's not pretty. This is, the harsh chemical option. I still have some residue from that clear coat, near identical that I did with the eco-friendly one. So I would need to do another application with any of these that I did, except for probably the heat gun. But I think the scraping is a lot easier than holding my heat gun, trying not to start a fire. So these are definitely easier. That's just the scraping. It comes off like butter. It's super soft. You know, and then I can take all of this stuff.
I have the tray right here.
Can you hand it to me?
If you just push it right off the table, it'll go.
Okay, I'm nervous to. Okay, I see it now. So I can just scrape this
Yeah.
right into my box.
I can do the sound effects.
Yeah. Do strippers make those sound effects?
That one, that's a 7 a.m. stripper.
You
So
have to tell me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to rely on you. All right.
I don't know.
So I would scrape these right off into the box. Now, if I did have to do a second application, I know that this one's going to work in another 15 minutes. This would probably work pretty quickly too, because I only have a really thin layer of the old clear coat on here. So, you know, I think less than 24 hours when I'm working for something that's just a residue more than a thick clear coat. When you use a stripper, you want to make sure that you neutralize the surface afterwards. So I don't want to come back and just sand over this to, you know, get it nice and smooth. I need to clean it and neutralize it first. The neutralizing process is going to keep you from grinding that stripper into the wood grain, and then possibly from having it cause your finishes that you put over the top from lifting later. So make sure you neutralize your surface, kill that stripper.
No,
Don't kill
I'm
the
not.
stripper. I'm not advocating murder at all. So if I have this nice and clean, got all my coatings off, I would want to neutralize it. You can neutralize stripper with a few different things. Let's see what works. Denatured alcohol, which you can't get here in California, so that's out for me. In fact, I just needed it for a project. I had to get Everclear.
So basically, what you're doing is you're trying to make the stripper stop working.
Yes, you want to
Lights
make her
work.
stop working. Yeah, you give
Lights,
her
no alcohol.
honest days work in an apartment. Okay, make the stripper stop working. You guys better be giving me laugh emojis on this. I'm on fire tonight. I have to get it out of my system before I go to the kids' school.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. So this is an example. I put that Blue Bear on probably 10 minutes ago when we were working on this section. I got nothing. You gotta let this stuff sit with the eco-friendly options. It's not even gonna bat an eye at you after 15 minutes, whereas the Jasco does. You can neutralize your stripper by cleaning with mineral spirits.
That's how you get it to stop working. You don't pay her.
The Greenies cleaner is a good option. You want to take the acidity out of the stripper. So make sure you clean it, and then I would come back and now I would sand the surface. So remember I told you that it's in addition to sanding. It's not in place of it. So what do you guys think? Do you guys have favorite options? Every piece is different. Every coat of paint is a little bit different. I can tell just by how this comes off that this is a latex paint. You know, latex paint is made for walls, and a lot of the paints that I use do have latex in them. But you can tell how latex goes on. It had very thick brush strokes because latex is a thick paint. It doesn't work the same with water. So anyway, I can tell this is a latex paint. My wood underneath is going to be beautiful. I'm going to finish stripping this, and I'm going to use the Jasco. That's usually my first choice. The Greenies is my first choice for an eco-friendly stripper. I use my scrapers a lot for small projects, getting into those nooks and crannies. So I, of course, always have a scraper, and my heat gun is a staple in my workspace too. So those are always options that are available. Yeah, so what do you guys think? Was that helpful? I'm going to have to pop off because we do have a back to school night tonight, and I'm already late. So, but I wanted to show you guys that. We did the Battle of the Strippers tonight. I'll add links here on where you can find even some of these hardware store options in my Amazon shop so you know exactly what they were that I used. The Greenies is available through Wise Owl. You guys, I only have 2 more weeks and I'm going to be in the UK for the Painters Business Academy. There are still tickets available. It's an amazing event. Great lineup. I posted that on my page last night. So check out that lineup if you're interested in the Painters Business Academy. It's in Surrey, just outside of London. We will be there in 2 weeks, you guys. The countdown begins. And I will have a video coming out on my YouTube channel, so if you're not already subscribed there, check out my YouTube channel. I do weekly tutorials and with all different types of painting. So I'll have a video coming out. Other than that, I'm going to leave you guys and say have a great weekend, and I will catch you guys next week. All right, let's go.